Okay, so how to clean scalextric set track, and I suppose this works on all sorts of sock cars. This is Scalextric Classic, nice and cheap off eBay. I've got quite a few pieces. The idea is to have a Scalextric set at a place called Markstay, just outside Colchester in the UK. It's a ready control car track at the moment, and which is all very well, but it's outside, so when it gets a bit wet and you're waiting between races, this is something just to maybe kill a bit of time. So we've got about 120, 30, 40 foot of track, which will be going down in the new year, and it just means that we can have a little bit of racing even when weather's not so good. Of course, when you get stuff off eBay, yeah, it's not in the greatest of nick, shall we say. It's a bit mucky, a bit sort of tarnished. So how do you get it back to something like this? This is one I've done earlier, and some of it is like this, where it's got some nice silver but it's a bit tarnished. Others, when frankly it's just no good. And I've tried a few things. We've got these sort of spongy rubbers. That's off the internet. We got the Peco rubber, again, internet. WD-40. This is the electrical cleaner bit, and if you use normal WD-40, it's meant to put an oil on the track, which means your cars, no, they're not going to grip so well. So people say, well, use the contact cleaner. Well, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. Sandpaper, emery paper, in this case, it's hardly abrasive. I have been told that Scalextric track has a thin layer of tin just over the top of the rail, and that is meant to stop it from getting tarnished and protect the rail. So if you use something really abrasive like actual sandpaper, the real proper stuff, not this emery stuff, then that's going to take off the tin. I'm not convinced, to be honest, when it gets to this sort of type of track where you've got some real gungy bits on, that it's actually going to make a big difference whether it's got tin left or not. There is another method there's a two-stage method that I've sort of come up with, but a bit more on that later. I've also tried that. Well, no, it's abrasive. It's not, again, not particularly abrasive, but I thought, well, maybe that will be gentle. Again, that's off eBay, being sold as something to clean Scalextric track. So let's see which is best. Like I say, I've got a lot of track. Well, to be honest, it's a pain in the arse to clean this stuff. So how do I go from something like this or that to that? And it's actually just a bit of elbow grease, as they say. Okay, so we can try a few things. I'm going to try 15 seconds, 20 seconds for each product, and then you can see how good it is. The first one is this, and I was a bit sceptical. It just looks like your normal sort of scouring pad that you get down the supermarket. It probably is something very similar, but is it any good? So normally works out about £4 or £5 for 3 of these. This is a slightly more harshest one. We'll put it on a board, do it standing up. If you're bending down, your back's going to get knackered. So, and you literally are doing that. Well, it does take out a lot of the general crappy bit, so the dirt if you like, but it still hasn't got rid of some of this tarnishing. Now, so this may be where it's got bits of tin and that's what's doing the whole reflection bit, but like I say, there's this two-stage approach that I've developed. One is the cleaning bit, which is obviously what we're trying here. That, yeah, it's good. You know, don't get me wrong, I was actually sceptical about this, but it does seem to help. Whether it's worth the price, I don't know, because you can wash these, but they do tend to fall apart afterwards. So, good. Probably 3 to 4 out of 5 on that one. The next one I thought we'll try is one of these. This is one I've been using earlier. As you can see, they do drop down a bit. But just to get the cleaning bit up, again a little bit more elbow grease. But as you can see, that is now getting rid of that quite nicely. The only downside with this is you do have to keep these clean, so a bit of sandpaper, literally just to take off the dirt. Now if you do it with a newish one, that works really well. You do need to put some elbow grease in this. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. This is not terribly easy to do, especially if you've got quite a few pieces, but you know what, this is getting rid of all of this stuff. And if you take it on that side, so as you can see relatively quickly, at least that rail is now coming back to life. The idea here is just to angle it slightly so it's more in the groove, and yeah, going over, that's pretty good. Quite pleased with that. Contact cleaner. Well, I've used this a bit. Well, let's see what this is like. Let's put it onto one of those. So, what's that? I think this might even be. That's better. Right. Okay, so that's on there. Yeah, literally just apparently rubbing this. Some of this is coming out. You can see it is. It's picking up some dirt here, so it's not that it's completely bad, but I think this is something for maybe when the track is all being cleaned up and you're just trying to keep on top of it. That said, I think probably this is going to be just as good and a bit easier. Yeah, I would say probably that's no good. In reality, any of this contact cleaner just isn't going to scrub up really bad stuff. Emery paper. Well, let's have a look at this. That is definitely picking up some stuff. The downside is that it's a bit. You've still got quite a lot of stuff in the middle, so it's getting rid of some stuff, but it's not uniform, and that's a bit of a pain. You know, I'm really just not happy with that. It's a bit of a pain to do. You can't just do this, because frankly you're going to knacker out the track, and actually I don't think it makes any real difference either. It sort of works along the same lines as the rubber. The rubber really is just that much better, I think, still. Yeah, that's, I think, the way to go. Under a £5. That will probably do 40, 50 pieces of track. So, you know, that's pretty good value still. And yeah, the easy option. So, as you can see, this is one that's not been doing badly on that side. We want to try to get this side up to that. Pardon the noise. Okay. Yeah, look, it sort of works, but hell, I'm going to be collecting my pension before I even finish this whole rail. So, on the one hand, yeah, the description of it does clean. Yeah, it's not necessarily wrong. It's just pain in the arse. I still think if you really want to do this, and I must admit I would probably think twice about doing it again, get an old track and trying to clean it up. One of those, literally yeah, as you can see, big difference between that part and this part. Another secret actually, don't do this in good light. I know this is going to sound really stupid, but really, if you're going to do it in good light, any of the reflection is going to come back. If you do it in relatively poor light, sort of at night under artificial light, then you're only going to see if a track is really clean, if it's really clean. Now, if it's got rid of all that dirt, so it's just reflecting what little light there is. So I would actually go with that. Now, two-stage metal polish, a couple of quid off eBay. The secret of this little thing is that you get kitchen roll, tiny bit, really minuscule bit, and you are just literally rubbing it gently down and up the track. And then what this is going to do is a protective layer, and it's going to pick up any other muck. You thought that was clean? Now this is... Yep, still getting some. Yeah, still, but now it's pretty much gone. This seems to be the best way to treat and bring up scalextric track. Really, really smooth, even compared to the stuff that I've just cleaned up. Did some lap times on my previous track that's on eBay, the 8x4, and the lap times improved by about 15 to 20% by doing the polish. Plus, I'm hoping that the polish is going to give a little bit more resistance and moisture, so it shouldn't be going back to a tarnished state or rusting in areas where moisture is sort of going into the bare metal. But for me, that coupled with that equals happy track.